Wim Wenders' 1987 film Wings of Desire is a work of haunting poetry. Its main character is an angel who can watch and chronicle human life, but who cannot feel it. Though much of what he sees is sorrow and loneliness, one angel, who because he has fallen in love with a beautiful trapeze artist, longs to fall from the sky in order to live life. The film is an account of his transformation from angel to man. It is a love letter from Wenders to his hometown of Berlin and to life itself. If you haven't seen it, you should. I believe the greatest compliment that one can pay an artist's work is to say that it has inspired. It is with this in mind, and at the risk of presumption, that I humbly submit the following to serve as an introduction to our discussion of Wings of Desire. What do you have and to hold, child? I have this, the taste of breath, the solid state of a stone changing. I have felt sunken into aftermath. I have heard fearful echoes coming from caves whose walls were etched in blood when time began. I have tasted blood. I have seen the essence of black and white. I have seen the painted wounds and scars, shiny in daylight, and broken city glass, glinting, reflecting the sky and a boy's smile. I have beheld walls that held in and walls that held out, that breathed the authorities we live by. What do you have and to hold, child? I have seen this, a mother with my baby in her arms. A spinning top, the circus's blinding colors. I have seen a child being born twice. Terror and popcorn, dried peanuts, New Orleans jumping to calliopes at night. I felt this without knowing, the weight of my bones when I walk, anticipating the pop of a balloon and cringing. The clamor of metal, a pencil held between fingers electric with nerve endings. I have felt the slickness of moss on stone with bare feet. I have listened to the grease in the train's wheel. I have seen dew on an early autumn leaf, autumn light. Sweet God, the honey light of autumn on a cornfield at the top of New Jersey. What do you have and to hold, child? The sound of thoughts layered over one another in worry. The sound a bird wing makes taking flight. Humility, goddammit. I've seen God in these three words. Gratitude for consciousness. Is this so terrible? The exquisite meaning of our meaninglessness? I have lost this at time. Direction, kindness, empathy. We read together once in a library, our hands touching. I remember this too, Mr. Wenders, a strobe of lime light in a concert hall quivering with heavy bass. The way she swayed to the music that time, and afterward laughed on a street corner on Houston Street. The way she held me there. What do you have and to hold, child? Love and love. The first time we kissed on that pier in San Diego, I have been amazed by the reality of our companionship. I have considered dying thoughts too. I have lived according to art too, Mr. Wenders. Words and words. I have also seen harm in our human grip. What do you have and to hold, child? Love can scrape you up from the sidewalk and cast you into the sky until you soar like an eagle. I have outraged at these things, the amassing, the collecting, the hoarding, the conceptions of our gods to kill over. 128 people died in Paris today. I have felt despair, ruined by undying hope. What do you have and to hold, child? I have all of this. We all have all of this and still kill each other. We were once children. This is the way we choose to spend our days, All of this. What have you seen? All of this. And we amass and we hoard and we hurt, killing each other. Love and love to have and to hold.
Pretty emotional, Joe Cristiano. How you doing?
Good. It was very emotional.
Well, let's make sure you're okay. You're all right.
Yeah, it's good.
You were talking about a lot there.
Yeah, this movie's talking about a lot, so I had no idea what to
Well,
say about
you
it.
go from this, you know, I mean this adoring love for your wife, and you kind of take a ride toward a recent happening. It's all it's
I think what the thing to put it into a nutshell here is that the film is about, it's a lot about, it's about the everyday things.
yeah.
It's about the things that we think about every day, the beauty of everyday things and the tragedy of everyday things, and uh, it's just taking a look at those things
Yeah,
and
and
still
really,
that's
that to me, it's like there's so much activity, there's so much going on. It's hard to really take everything in, and to really understand everything, obviously. And his yearning to become a man, is fascinating to me because he is taking in all this stuff anew, all at once, and he's trying to get it. And I think he does, right. I mean, he does start to get what a man is supposed to be, or what man is supposed to be, in a way. It's all very confusing, Joe, but it's I mean, listen, it's a very heavy piece of work. It's a beautiful piece of work at times. It was difficult for me the first hour, but I started to really,
Oh, this is your first time
yeah,
seeing it.
first time seeing it. And the second half, it kind of came together for me. It was a rough first hour, Joe. I got to be honest with you. It was really
Okay.
difficult.
Sure.
Really, really difficult. And plus, it's like, I don't know if it's like the translation with the languages get lost a little bit, where I'm listening to this language and it all sounds beautiful, but I'm reading it and it's like kind of, I don't know, it just seems kind of choppy and not
Yeah.
fluent. Like the poetry's not fluent for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I think,
and I'm
yeah.
not sure if
Okay.
that's just the words being kind of lost, like in.
Well, I think that there's this fascination and this awe and just this reverence for the banalities of life, the just the platitudes of it, how simple it is, the and how lonely it could be, and how even beautiful it can be in that loneliness, and in especially in a town like or a city like Berlin, that's living in the aftermath of such destruction
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the greatest violence that ever
Sure.
man ever committed, that this angel can look at it still with childlike eyes and still see beauty in it, where the people who are living in it have trouble, are so lonely and hurt,
And numb, maybe numb to it.
and not see that hope in it, and I think that as
But why
a
does he?
prox
Why does he see the hope? Why do you think he sees the hope?
well, I think he
Why does
sees it.
he? Why him? Why does he? What is in him? What do you think is happening where he could see the hope?
Well, I think two things. I think that he sees it without having to live it, and I think that is very childlike. He sees it very, and because of that, because his perspective is very childlike. So you see things through the innocence of a child, and everything has potential. Everything is beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful in and of itself without qualification. With despite the pain, the pain is beautiful. The loneliness is beautiful, and it's
Is it woman?
and then love, and that's what ultimately pushes him over that line and brings him down, to sacrifice his immortality to live it. It's That's really poetic, I could, of course, that's what I saw out of it. Anyway.
Max, what did you think of Joe's intro?
Oh, Jesus. Thanks, Tom. Well, listen, I don't like sports, but I really love boxing. And I feel that Joe's opening combined with Adam's love and passion for this film is Mike Tyson, and I'm Michael Spinks. Because the Tyson Spinks fight was the sixth shortest heavyweight fight in history. And I don't want to take a shit on Adam's beloved movie, and I certainly do not want to discredit Joe's emotions right now, but I am absolutely astounded, and I almost feel like Joe and Adam secretly got together to play a prank on us about this film. Because this had to have been one of the most insufferable 2 hours and 8 minutes I have ever spent in my life.
It didn't pick up for you at the end, like toward the end.
No, never. It never picked up for me. It felt like a spoof of long, boring, pretentious Eurotrash. That's what it felt like to me. I couldn't believe all of these angels were walking around with weird little greasy ponytails, and I wanted to fucking die. By the 90-minute mark, I was like, I don't know these people. I don't mean the people in the movie. I mean my friends. I don't know these people because I am so not getting it. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, but Max, listen to Joe. Joe is totally affected by this piece of work.
I know.
I've never he's stuttering.
This is a constant battle on the show, Tom. I don't want to fight Joe on this one.
We're not fighting.
I know we're not fighting, but Joe is so passionate, and it hurts me to hear this because he loves this. He sees what I don't see. That's all. We just have different visions of what's going on, and I would never, like, he got me with the Paris shit, and he got me that he's talking about his wife, and I actually thought about Paris because I saw this film yesterday, and Paris happened on our time Friday. So that was definitely in the back of my brain. And I thought, okay, we're going in and out of different people's lives, and we're kind of looking down and this, and visually, yeah, it's kind of. And then soon I wanted a train to run over my head.
Even Peter Falk couldn't help you.
Listen, Tom, a lot of this artsy-fartsy shit's great, but even I wanted to kill my fucking self.
Is that Columbo?
Can we be done with Wim Wenders? I mean, Wim, we have spent so much time on this guy. I'm the one who brought Paris, Texas to the table. I love that film. I love that documentary he made. I was actually excited about this. I was curious. I was like, all right, I'm really into Wenders. Let's go. Oh my God. I was like, this is what Woody Allen... Oh, no, Annie Hall would have dragged Woody Allen Alvy Singer to this movie. When he wants to watch documentaries on the Holocaust, she would have dragged him to see this.
Right, I thought about that. That's so funny you mentioned that. That's hilarious. Oh my God, why did I think about that?
I had a psychotic ex-girlfriend who moved to France who loved these kind of films. Like, she'd sit there and chew on her fingers and chew on the fingernails. And oh my God, we went to see fucking Dangerous Liaisons. And we're sitting there and she's beady-eyed and chewing on her fingers. Chewing on her fingers like a fucking rodent. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, I don't want to fuck this tonight. And I did not want to fuck this film.
I have to say, I just say that this is unlike any other film. I can't. It's not like any other film, but that's the only thing
I'm with them on Wenders. We've gone overboard with Wenders.
It's enough with him. Get him out of here.
He's like our new Lars von Trier.
We're good.
Well, it's not like some one person keeps forcing him down. He just naturally came up.
Right. By three different hosts.
Right, including you, Max.
I know.
He started this monstrosity.
I mean, I don't think it was consciously Wim Wenders all season. I think it just was.
Dude, I bought the At the End of the World soundtrack. But seriously, I think I'm worried this might be a prank of Jackassian proportions because Adam loves Jackass as much as I do. And I think he's fucking with us.
Are you fucking with us, Adam?
Oh, I'm not fucking with you.
You're dead serious about this movie.
Yeah, and Max and I, you have to understand, we agree on so many films. There's so much crazy shit that we feel like that like the movies are speaking to us and us alone. But there's so many films that we completely disagree on. And
And this is
I'm
obviously
not going to say that this is my all-time favorite film, but I'm going to say it's in my top 3
this is in your
all-time.
top 3.
It's in my
Absolutely.
top 5
Top
or
And
so. Too.
Joe, your what you had to say. I mean, it was I was getting emotional at your emotions in this because obviously I could sense it resonated with you. But yeah, no, this movie is, I think, absolutely so beautiful in so many ways, and in terms of the theme of transformation, how beauty transforms us, how we transform from child to adult, how love transforms us, how war transforms us, and just the beauty. And I hear what you're saying, Tom, with the language, and maybe some of that is language, and for me it's almost like I'm not even word specific on the translation, but it's
It was just
the
tough.
sentiment,
I
but just
felt
the sentiment of the mundane, and also the spiritual, and how that is juxtaposed over each other in this film. And my God, and yeah, just knowing Wim Wenders, the love letter to Berlin that it is. And yeah, I just think it's just a spectacular and beautiful movie at every level. And I got to tell you, I was, I when I saw this movie, I fell in love with oh my God, I'm blanking on the character, Marion, the trapeze artist. Just fell in love with her. And I've seen this movie many times, but I have not seen it probably in 10 years now. And I watched it again, and I got on IMDb, and I found out that that actress, whose name I'll never pronounce correctly, she's a French actress who dated or was with Wenders for many years and was in 3 of his films. This was her first film ever. She died like almost 10 years ago at the age of 45 of heart failure. And it's like my love for her through Damiel's eyes. When I saw this movie, like the place she holds for me, I was like gut punched by the fact that she had died. I mean, I am very emotionally attached to this movie, and I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film.
It's about life. It does nothing less than try to encapsulate the experience of living itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
My
there's
goodness,
not
yeah.
there's it's not the tale of a hero or an inner struggle or any of these things. It's about living.
Yeah.
To that end, it reminded, just thinking of it now, it reminded me very much of Boyhood, and that's another film that I bet in 10 years I'm going to say that it's probably one of my favorite films.
That's an excellent film, Boyhood, Joe.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful because it reaches so far. I mean, it's just poetic. Like, just its execution is just, it's basically poetry and cinema. I know Max is
But I loved Boyhood. I loved Boyhood.
It's not overly artsy like that. So you have to admit this.
What is overly?
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue.
So I was
I'm
rewatching this
just
film.
going-
like there's a trapeze artist in it. These films always seem to have some kind of a trapeze artist.
That trapeze artist segment, that's when I wanted to die the most.
I was watching this film last night for the first time in 10 years, and in my heart, Max, I knew that you were going to react and have this opinion of the film, but there was a part of me that was hoping, there's a circus, and it's a band of misfits in a world of shit, and Peter Falk, for fuck's sake, he's a fucking angel.
What about Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds?
Nick Cave? And by the way,
I love
watching
Nick
it
Cave
last
and the
night
Bad
and
Seeds.
thinking about how Nick Cave's
That
son
was great.
just took LSD and walked off a cliff and died a week ago. Nick Cave's like 16-year-old son, something like that.
Oh,
It
shit.
was longer than a week ago, but yeah.
It was just recent, though. It was in the past
It
week.
was. It was.
Adam,
it was.
can you repeat that? Can you say what happened again, please?
Nick Cave's son, who I think 16, 18 years old, something like that, took some LSD and walked off a cliff to his death in the past couple of weeks. So like watching Nick Cave almost 30 years ago on stage and in this film, and I don't know, just caught up in the whole emotion of the film and thinking of that. It was just like, even that was emotional watching it last night.
Adam, I have the same reaction when I'm giving Max movies. I'm like, he's probably not gonna like this, but I kind of hope that like Grapes of Wrath and Peeping Tom. I'm like, there's a chance that he's gonna like these.
You scored with the Fellini movie.
Oh yeah,
Lestrada. How does
Yeah,
Lestrada?
Lestrada.
I mean, I have no idea how
That one broke through.
I
That one
know,
broke through.
okay. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
But having said all that, I also get it because I hadn't seen it, like I said, in 10 years now, and I've seen it many times. And I was watching it last night, and I mean, I get that it's
Counselor, Nick
this-
Cave's son died in July. It was a while ago.
that's not a week. Oh shit, you're right. That's more than a week ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, time fucking flies.
it's
So-
dramatic. Just
but,
wanted to bring that out.
No, thank you. But I mean, I get it. I mean, I've seen this movie so many times over the past 27 years, and watching it for the first time, I mean, yeah, there's a lot to take in, and it's the poetry of the language, and it's I get that's not going to click with everyone. I totally get that, and understand that this movie is just I don't know, maybe when I saw it resonated with me, and it just stuck with me, but it is
I don't know how
absolutely
this movie resonates with anyone.
Well,
no,
listen, so there's no way you would never listen, because I think I would, and I'm kind of with you, Max. I kind of had a hard time with this movie, although the second half of the film, I really like. It started to move a little bit in my heart and mind. It did. So I would give it a second chance. There's no way you would give this a second chance.
Never in a million years. This was like the movie that wasn't there a Seinfeld episode where Elaine had to go see a movie over and over and over again, and it was like
The English Patient, right?
Yeah, the English Patient. What you saw, Laney's visceral reaction to that film was my reaction. I am Elaine Bennis watching this film.
Wenn a Kind was.
Oh my
I
god!
can't believe how stereotypically.
It's
You're
it's
right.
almost like a Mike Myers skit. I get it.
I mean, my God! Yes. There was fucking harpsichord and what is that piano thing that bends? What is that called?
The accordion.
An accord. There was accordion music. How you guys love a movie that's scored with accordion music?
I think it is one of the most
Jesus
beautiful
Christ.
love stories I've ever fucking seen, and I mean that.
It was the accordion and the percussion.
And it's out of tune.
Under the
circus band
band.
is so bad. It's so out of tune and terrible. It's so beautiful.
Oh my
But
god!
no one answered my question about the little greasy ponytails. You guys forgave that, Adam and Joe, and your little.
Angels
Why you
just-
spoon each other in bed? Do you
Listen,
each other on the back of the neck and say, "Those ponytails are forgiven"?
that is the interpretation of an angel as a trench coat and a ponytail.
Joe, you've sported a ponytail before at some point in your life, right? Because you had long hair.
Yes, I
Now,
did.
Adam, have you?
Oh yeah.
There you go, Max.
Well, I had long hair up until about 12 years ago. Very, very long hair.
No kidding.
Yeah. In fact, I shaved my head at Max's birthday party. He had wanted me. Was it a birthday party or some event at your house? And Max for years had said, "Dude, you got to cut your hair." And I mean, it was like beyond shoulder length, long hair.
Max,
And
his
Took
long
it all
hair was
off.
well kept.
It was really bothering me. He looked like a shitty musician.
Did he have
Not
knots?
a musician.
I am a shitty musician.
Did he?
magician.
Did
He
you?
had a, and when he cut his hair on my birthday, it was the greatest gift he could have given me, and he's kept it ever since. He looks great.
Yeah, I have very, very curly hair, like ringlet kind of curly hair, and so it was very curly and very long.
Interesting.
You stretch that shit out, it would go down to my ass. And seriously, like I
kidding.
said, bust out the fucking clippers. Let's shave my fucking head down at your party, and that was like 12,
Who
14 years ago.
who worked the razor?
Russ Arch.
Russell Arch.
I don't talk to him anymore.
Fuck that.
He was part of our life at the time, and he shaved my head, and I've never had my head it's been shaved ever since.
Fucking pseudo barber Russ. Fuck him.
Thanks, Tom.
Semi-professional.
Tom, this is the moment where you and I are bonding. Now I'm spooning you in the bed. In
That's
the
right,
other
pal.
Those aren't pillows. In the other bed is Joe and Tom spooning over this fucking turd.
It's
In
Joe
this-
and Adam.
is
Joe
you
and
and-
Adam are spooning.
What did I say? Oh, yeah. Joe and Adam are spooning. In this bed,
Yes.
it's me, Tom.
Hey, Max, listen.
I mean, hot in the corner.
I stood up last week with my intro, dude. This is all this.
Are you rubbing up against his gout, Max?
I am. I'm coming all over his gouty, broken knee. I can't see.
I'm sorry, guys. I know this is a divisive movie, but
Max,
listen,
can I use your glasses?
Max, I can't see. I have to go make a poo. Can I use your glasses to get to the bathroom room? Sure, Tom.
the bathroom room.
As long as we're watching Wings of Desire. Wings of No Desire. I never desire this film.
Wings of no desire to ever see this film again.
Oh man.
Let me ask you this. Can I ask you a serious question, Max?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Poor Jeremy. He wants to say so much.
Jeremy,
about it.
you
I can't wait to hear Jeremy's opinion.
listen, you probably see a lot of movies that like mediocre films, right?
I
That
watch
you'll
mostly bad movies, yes.
that you'll see and then you forget. I mean, I do. Everybody does. You see a million movies, right? So even though you hate this movie and you just think it's pretentious, whatever, you will probably never forget watching this movie and probably some of its scenes. Is that accurate? Or is that
You
totally
know
off
what I'm
base?
gonna remember? I'm gonna remember Bruno
And
Gans.
Kind Vas.
I'm gonna
Ugh.
I'm gonna remember Bruno Gans holding that old dude as he looked at that book of dead children pictures.
God, how beautiful, man.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh,
That was the
so-
only moment where I felt something.
So, like maybe 10 years ago, Max and I took a journey down to Palm Desert, which is out here by Palm Springs, on a road trip to go see Don Rickles for the second time, because 12 years prior we had driven out to Vegas to see him. And we had a couple days down in Palm Desert, and so one afternoon we decided to kill some time by going to see the movie Downfall, which was a German film about
Hitler.
the last days of Hitler. Hitler,
Great movie.
was- it is,
Yeah.
and Hitler was played by Bruno Gans, who plays
Yeah, that's a great film.
Damiel in Wings of Desire.
Oh,
Great.
I didn't make that connection.
Yeah, he was Hitler in that film. It was
he
me
was
and
amazing.
Max in a movie theater with about a dozen 80-year-old men, all of whom were coughing in like a synchronized chorus for 2.5 hours.
Oh, it's like a nightmare.
Pretty much. But still, that's a great film, and that's Bruno Gans.
Oh God, he was astonishing in that. He was so good in that.
He's a
It's
great
Hitler.
actor. He was beautiful as Damiel in this movie.
What
My
does
God,
what does Wolfshirt think of this film?
Das Bullshit.
Wolf shit. I'm kind of in the middle. The first time I watched it,
You can't be in the middle. It's either Team Max and Tom or Team Joe and Adam.
Right.
I
Decide
can't-
now. Decide
I
now,
can't.
pal.
pretty
Cut.
polarizing.
the first time I watched it, and this was way before I was supposed to watch it for the show. I watched it out of genuine curiosity. I shut it off because I thought it was boring. This time, I kind of had an emotional reaction to it, and
What was it? What was the like?
I don't know. I think it's what Joe's talking about. It's just a celebration of life. Now, look, I get where Max is coming from.
I don't like celebrating life.
but I don't. One of the reasons why I'm not having such a violent reaction to this film is because in between my viewings of Wings of Desire, I saw Jean-Luc Godard's Goodbye to
Oh.
Language. Insufferable. Goodbye to Language. Oh my god. So that's part of the reason why I'm not having such a violent reaction to this film, because I felt a lot watching it. Some of it's unexplainable. Just the small little moments in the film.
What's that
Just-
Godard film, Garcia?
Goodbye to Language.
No.
If
Goodbye
you
Language.
wanna
Joe, did you make both your children watch that the moment they were born?
oh,
We're watching it right now.
Goodbye to Language
Hey,
is like
little Miss Mummy, you're gonna watch Godard. Godard. Here comes Godard. Here comes Benders. Here comes Fellini. If it's black and white and long and boring and has harpsichord music, you're gonna watch it.
Harpsichord and a trapeze artist.
And a trapeze artist.
I thought this movie had a lot of really beautiful scenes, and I
That is true. I mean, it's true.
I think it was. I occasionally was bored by it, but there was a lot of moments that really moved me. The ending, I was almost at tears, and then when I saw like the dedication to like Tarkovsky and Truffaut, that really got me going, because like those guys are some of
Does
my.
everyone have to sound like an appetizer to a fucking French meal?
Yes.
But
What, if you want the Tarkovsky to start, Max?
No, let me
You
have
know,
the Truffaut first.
Jeremy's synopsis right there sounded as if he could be talking about life itself. I was pretty bored, but then there were some really beautiful moments,
Yeah.
and then I got sad at the end.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's it. That's it. That's
Which, when thought
I mean,
about, Joe, could be a very large statement, right?
Well, just the experience of watching the film again is life itself.
Now, Jeremy,
There's nothing
I
more
mean,
beautiful
there's-
than that
there's-
scene, dude. One of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen is in the trailer when she's sitting there, and he's sitting there listening to her thoughts, and it's just gorgeously lit, first of all, and then it turns into color. It's just the simplest friggin' scene, and it's just
go wipe your vagina.
And I love
Question.
the scene where Damiel is he takes a few moments there with the guy who was in the car accident who's dying and
Oh, God,
spins his thoughts onto where in that stream of consciousness of thoughts that the dying man has, and then as Damiel's just walking away and the expression on his face, my God, that's like one of the greatest scenes in film.
It's as if I am curling into I am curling into this chair, listening to you speak of these things.
that scene. That scene,
transcends
actually, I was
film,
watching
man.
the
It does. It
commentary.
transcends film. Correct. Film Comment Magazine. I just renewed my subscription.
Adam, that scene. They filmed that like days before that bridge was destroyed. So,
Oh, really?
which just adds another.
All right,
complete dimension.
Listen to these clowns.
Who cares? Jeremy, let me ask you something. 18 hours ago, you posted on Facebook, all in caps, "What is happening to my?"
Yeah.
You
What is happening to
line.
what? Say that again, Max.
Okay, so 18 hours ago, Jeremy posted on Facebook in caps, "What is happening to my brain?" Lim Yoen liked it. Who the fuck is Lim?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Random person.
So, what did you mean by "what is happening to my brain"? Was it a reaction to the film? Were
It
you
was a
having an
reaction to the
episode?
film
Okay.
because
To
there was so
Wings
much.
of Desire?
Yeah, there was so much
Yeah.
going on. I was almost overwhelming. Like I think that's why I shut it off the first time. Like I didn't know how to handle it, and I don't know. It really clicked with me this time. Like the scene with like the guy who jumped off the building, like that was just heartbreaking. Like and I don't know. There's something about the scenes
Why was
with
that
Peter.
heartbreaking? Who cares?
Well, you never saw a guy jump off a building before in a movie?
No, I,
There was just some. I don't know. I think the movie has some merit.
Jeremy,
How about Cassiel, the angel that stays the angel? You know,
Cassiel.
how about his fucking struggle? How about
know,
him
let's
dealing
go
dealing
Yeah.
with shit?
Canyon. Let's all go to Shakespeare in the Canyon on a Saturday night.
Shakespeare in the Canyon.
Adam, what is that fucking Shakespeare?
It's the Will Gear Theater.
Let's
is
go to
what you're
the
talking about.
Will Gear Theatricum Botanicum
Oh
and
God, help
see
me.
a 4-hour production of Midsummer Night's Dream, and let's
Oh,
all sit there
please,
with our
kill
dicks
me.
in our hands, just jerking it like in Caligula.
Yeah, because that's that's what we're talking about.
I'll wear my Gianluca Dard mask for that.
Jeremy, do you wear boxer briefs, panties, or boxers?
I wear boxers.
All right.
I have no
Oh.
idea.
Is your
Where-
little scrotum? Is it?
No, wait a minute.
Is your little scrotum shrinked up, or is it loose and hangy?
Are you a shower or a grower?
What is happening? I thought we were
Do you
talking about.
manscape your pubic region?
Why am I going, Joe? Why am I going along with Max?
I have no idea, Tom. You're
Cut
gonna
it
have to
or
look
podcast.
inside yourself.
No, I know.
Where we talk about the meaning of life and we
See,
talk
you
about
see-
scrotum.
When you are looking at the wings of the angel, you are not looking at the real angel wings. We are all angels. So you see, and we all are in black and white. And then there are bursts of color in life.
Oh, a headache.
Guys, listen, we're gonna start to wrap things up in a couple minutes. But I do want to say this, Joe. You wrote a very beautiful intro.
You really did, Joe.
Yeah,
tonight.
that was fucking
Honestly,
great,
it's
Joe.
very-
That was
Joe, you
thank
got
you.
me going. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's all about you.
Yeah, honestly, Joe, that was a very, very.
Well,
Beautiful.
the movie moved me deeply to do that. It's a movie of such power that there's nothing I can.
Your
I-
intros this
just-
season are really fucking great. All of them were. I loved The Jimmy Show was fantastic, and Martyrs was,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you,
I mean,
Tom.
honestly, they were all really I mean, you've always written excellent intros, but I mean, they're
I'm working at it.
they're very nice. Yeah, thank
Proofrock
you.
and Martyrs. That was crazy.
Yeah.
The what?
Proofrock.
And he always gets it's like when it's like with Joe, it's like, all right, you give him the most difficult film. That's what I do.
That's what
This
did.
was the most difficult one, but you know what? I thank you, Adam, for giving it.
Oh my God, you
It
two
was-
should go come on each other in the.
Yeah.
He goes to home
Hey,
tomorrow.
Tom,
listen, it was all a prank.
remember last week we were
Don't
talking
funny
about wait, hold on, Max. Last week we were talking about the Jimmy Show.
Yeah.
And this guy's trying to be an artist on stage. I don't. You've probably never seen. I had never seen the film. He's on stage in New Jersey, and New Jersey has this thing where, all these Guidos and these meatheads. They're up there. Anybody who's like has any thought that's above, the level of cretin, New Jersey
Yeah, you fucking
guys
faggot.
tend to say, "What are you, some kind of fucking faggot?" And I go, "Yeah," and I'm still dealing with that today. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, right here on the cutting room. Every time I fucking start talking, Max is calling me a friggin' faggot." So I insist, Max, that every time you accuse me of being a homosexual, you do it in a Tony Soprano voice, please.
Let me tell you something. You two can go jerk off to your fucking wings of desire. It's fucking queer, ask me. Oh, these fucking guys. Hey, what the fuck? Oh no, he's jerking off to black and white movies. I don't like black and white unless it's a fucking History Channel. Fucking old footage of wars and shit. No, Joe Cristiano. He's very sensitive. He's a very nice young man. Yeah, but him and Adam both wear fucking puka shells, so what the fuck?
No, but Adam, seriously, this was a great show.
Yeah,
man.
Adam. No.
Oh my God. It
It's
doesn't
difficult.
stop.
Hey, Adam,
Let me eat your balls.
I,
This is
and
my
I just want to tell
all-time
you that I'm
fucking
really
favorite
glad that
episode.
you've joined the show, Adam, and I hope you.
Adam,
stick
I
with it
love you
because
so much.
I can't deal with Max anymore.
What?
This is the best fucking season closer ever.
Oh, it's a party.
Oh,
Oh man. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for doing both Altered States and Wings of Desire. I'd like to thank Dave Pace and Billy Barassa and Jeremy Garcia for being a part of season 6. Unfortunately, it's coming to a close. I do want to assure everyone that we will be back for season 7 in January or February. End of January, beginning of February. We'll see. Probably beginning of February. But we are going to be back for season 7. So you definitely have that.
It's gonna be an abridged season, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we're probably going to be doing releasing shows every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, we are releasing shows every 2 weeks, so we'll.
But season 8, the future is in Tom's hands. Season 8 could go back to a full season, or it could be we can just completely fall
Or it
off
could
the
be
face
dead
of the
air.
earth.
This last season was a short season, so the next season's even shorter.
No, but we're
Oh,
next
next season.
season. We're not putting something out every week. We're gonna be doing
Oh.
one session
Gotcha,
instead
gotcha.
of so.
Every 2 weeks, so it'll run normally, like from January.
mini episode if you're lucky.
I'd also like to thank our guests this season. They all were excellent. We had Michael Gross on, we had Eduardo Sanchez, and Frank Whaley. So I'd like to thank all three of them for being a part of the Cutting Room Movie Podcast this season. We'll definitely be on the lookouts for some more amazing guests next season, no doubt about it. Guys, any final words here for the fans, for each other, for Jeremy, for anyone?
Well,
Max?
I think you got to go out. You got to go to YouTube and check out Max and the Counselor Go Camping.
Yeah, and you know what? That's going to be up. You can just go to our website. If you're not listening to the show off of our website, go to the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. Oh, I'm sorry, the cuttingroompodcast.com, and we'll put those YouTube videos up for everyone alongside the trailers for these movies. So we'll definitely get that up there, Adam.
And I'm taking Tom camping over the holidays.
Beautiful.
Are you serious?
In the dead
No.
set of winter.
In the winter,
with a baggie full of shrooms.
Oh, forget about it. Could you imagine that?
You've never been camping, right, Tom? Is that correct?
I've been camping.
Oh, you have.
But I haven't really been camping like in my adult life. Like I went as a teen.
This was our reality show we were gonna make.
No,
All
boy.
of us in an RV.
I love it.
That would be
The counselor, Billy, Joe, Tom, Dave Pace, Jeremy Garcia, me
Yeah,
in an
guys.
RV cross country.
If I won the lottery, I swear to God, that's what I would do.
I like
I mean,
the
I'd
idea.
spend I would spend the requisite time with my family, and then I'd get all you fuckers into an RV, and we'd head out on the open road.
Yeah, I like that.
Sure.
I like that idea. I really like that one on
He likes
one
that
episode.
idea.
I
What does he
forget
like?
what episode. I forget what episode it was, but there was one episode where you guys joked that you would make like a buddy movie where Tom moved in with Max, and that sounded like the greatest movie that.
Oh, he was the buddy cop. They were gonna be patrolling
Yeah.
the streets of. Jeremy, what was your favorite episode this season?
Oh God.
Bill Shetty,
I-
come on, man.
Oh, and Bill Shetty was a guest. Thank you,
Bill,
Max.
yeah, the Bill Shetty thing was fun. I really liked that martyrs discussion. I thought that was
That was
really
good.
thought provoking and interesting.
Mhm.
I really loved Dave's "It Follows" intro. That was really beautiful.
beautiful.
Halloween show he's talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, and
I know how to pick the movies, Jeremy. None of these other clowns do.
Yeah.
Is Dave? What's the over under on Dave coming back? One.
He won't be back.
Okay,
He won't
He'll
be
be
back
back.
next season. Not next season.
Wait, how many shows do we do in the next season? How many is it usually, Tom? Like 7? Or
Well,
something?
this season was 9.
Well, how many recordings? Let's say
4.
that.
Well, 5 this season.
Okay, and then usually though, because this one.
And then
was
the
shorter,
other, like the next season, would be more of like an 8 or 9 normally.
Okay, so
yeah.
by which recording do you think Dave? I mean, I really hope he does come back. I'm not saying this, but does anybody think he's coming back or not?
I think he's coming back.
All right, should I try to get him to be on the season opener? Yes.
You can do that. All right,
Tell
I
him
don't
to
think that's
program
gonna
it,
happen.
and he'll be on.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, he's good with the.
Hey, I just want to say to anyone who listens to this show, thank you so much. You guys are great, and I hope you have a beautiful holiday season. And thank you so much for your comments and listening. There's so much content out there. There's so many shows, but I think the people that listen to this show, I think they have a different kind of head on their shoulders because they don't want to just hear movie reviews. That's not what we're doing here.
Yeah, we're doing
Well, that's
anything
what
but that.
That's what attracted me to this show because there was a lot of different things going on. Like there's really great like film discussion, but then there's the wackiness, like when Max was reading the troll comments on YouTube.
That was by far the funniest thing I've ever.
I think that
Dude,
was the best.
That was the best Max Cook moment ever in the history of this show. Was that episode when he was reading Dust Bowl?
The Okie. He was giving the voice of the Okies,
Dude, it was
the
so-
pretentious.
It's the funniest thing. I've listened to that, him doing that like 5 times. Like, and I'll go back and listen to it again. It's so fucking funny. And let me tell you, listeners, go on YouTube, type in Max Cook's name, and just watch anything that this dude has put out. All of it's really good. From his channelings to his visiting friends or visiting the zoo or visiting whatever the fuck he's doing. And he just put, I watched a video he just did that's awesome. I'm going to put this up there too, if there's room. Max, you went to go visit an artist friend of yours.
Christy Malora, you saw that, Tom?
I did. I watched it.
Thanks, brother.
I watched it on a day off. I was eating dinner, and I'm like, I was eating dinner in the living room. I'm gonna put on something. I was just reading about Max's. Max had a new video out that with a friend of his. So I watched it. It was so. The only thing let me tell you something right now. Those videos, and they're excellent, and you're excellent in them, and you are great with people. I really wish somebody was there holding the fucking camera for you. I really do.
I'm with you.
It
Is
if
the
I lived-
counselor, but he's
if I
busy
lived down the
helping-
street from you, I'd do it personally.
Oh,
Adams-
I wish. Yeah.
Because that needs to be done. Somebody needs to be holding that camera.
No one
and
holds count.
They need to see you. He needs to see you interacting.
To me, talking to people than him. He's the best. Because he knows my brain, and he knows if you watch Gramps Beneath the Surface, this guy, he zeroes in on everything.
Yeah.
I really want to do a show next season where we all talk about our stuff. We get into Joe's films. We do Gramps Beneath the Surface. I think that would be a really good idea.
That would be a great fucking show. That would be fun.
Be a jerk off. It would just be like, well, here's what we did. I think just one episode. Think about it, Tom.
Maybe we'll do that for the 100th episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something special for the 100. I didn't want to just do a regular show. I thought maybe we could do a reflecting, whatever, just kind of like a good old time for an hour or so. But maybe we could do something like that, Joe. We'll think about it. So, Max, that's a good idea. Adam, I think because 100 should be pretty special. That's going to be the 3rd episode next season, number 100.
Oh yeah.
So that is pretty outstanding.
We're trying to get this documentary we made onto Vimeo.
Yes, that's going to happen. Grasp Beneath the Surface will be up to watch on Vimeo.
And that'll be the official 10-year anniversary of this thing. And you guys saw it.
Yes, I have it here. We put it on, didn't we? Me, you and Jeff put it on, Joe, right? One night we were drinking.
That was late.
It was
That
really
was the only
late.
time I saw it, actually. It was we had been out all night.
30.
I enjoyed
we
what I
were
saw.
hammered, and that's how you got to watch.
That's the way to watch it.
Yeah.
I passed out halfway through. I was out, dude. But I did enjoy what. It was like 3 a.m. We were out all night.
So we'll give you Gramps to intro.
I don't
Desire at 2 p.m. and I fell asleep.
I'm not sure that I really want to do that, guys. I don't mind talking about your films and stuff. I don't say.
Oh Jesus! Now he's getting all Billy on us.
Yeah, guys, gotta go.
Get going. Let's say goodbye. Thanks everybody for season 6. It was absolutely fantastic.
Wait, is Jeremy? Did he get a job at the grocery store?
Yes or no?
I was about to, but then I lived with my friend, and I actually did. I worked briefly at a haunted house, and I also worked.
That's awesome. What'd you do at the house? Did you play a ghoul?
Yeah, I was one of the jump out people.
Oh, that's great! Did you have fun?
Made some bread. It was pretty cool. About some stuff. It was cool. It was neat.
This kid is like something to me, Tom.
And I also, my mom is friends with this woman, and her husband, will run a little film camp for little kids and for young kids, and kind of they'll make a movie, and they it's a little silly movie, and I helped out with that too, and I made some scratch from doing that. So
that's great.
Yeah, so I did some stuff, but now I'm back on that grocery store application thing.
There you have it.
You're gonna get there, brother.
You can like us on Facebook at the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter, Thomas Detloff at TCRM Podcast. Jeremy, tell everybody where they can follow the show on Twitter.
Oh, you can follow the Cutting Room Movie Podcast at wait. Whoops. I had it up, but then I lost it.
You can do it, Jeremy.
You can follow us at
Jeremy, do it. You can do it.
TCRMP1
Excellent.
Cutting Podcast.
And Jeremy,
do you wear ankle socks, or do you wear socks that go up to your knees, or midway through, to the shin?
Ankle.
Okay. Now listen, Jeremy, tell everybody where they could listen to your podcast.
You can find my podcast at eachoosemedia.com under podcasts and Dartboard Cinema.
Excellent.
We're doing
and tell everyone where they could follow you on Twitter.
This is a bit embarrassing because I made this my thing in high school, but you could follow me. You could follow me
Jeremy!
What, Max?
Go ahead!
You can follow me at me.
God, jeez Louise.
Let's start over. God damn it,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
me_is_dope.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jeremy, I'm gonna take my cigarette.
Oh yeah.
High school, my friend.
The show is produced by Joe Christiana and Tom Stetloff.
That Twitter handle is like life itself.
And edited by Joe Christiana. The music is done by the Zillatones. Check them out at www.thezillatones.com or search for them on Reverb Nation. You can check out Max Cook's blog at maxcookuncork.com, and you can also check out Adam's Starland PC show at starlandpc.com. Get over there, give both those guys some support. And you can also check out Joe's film work at christianaproductions.com. Now, we'll be back for season 7 next year. Until then, we're over and we're out. Ciao.
Tune in next time to satisfy more of your strange desires. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast. We do chicken right.
In her arms. A spinning top, the circus's blinding colors. I have seen a child being born twice. Terror and popcorn, dried peanuts, New Orleans jumping to calliopes at night. I felt this without knowing, the weight of my bones when I walk, anticipating the pop of a balloon and cringing, the clamor of metal, a pencil held between fingers electric with nerve endings. I have felt the slickness of moss on stone with bare feet. I have listened to the grease in the train's wheel. I have seen dew on an early autumn leaf. Autumn light. Sweet God, the honey light of autumn on a cornfield at the top of New Jersey. What do you have and to hold, child? The sound of thoughts layered over one another in worry. The sound a bird wing makes taking flight. Humility, goddammit. I've seen God in these 3 words. Gratitude for consciousness. Is this so terrible? The exquisite meaning of our meaninglessness? I have lost this at time. Direction, kindness, empathy. We read together once in a library, our hands touching. I remember this too, Mr. Vendors. A strobe of lime light in a concert hall quivering with heavy bass. The way she swayed to the music that time, and afterward laughed on a street corner on Houston Street. The way she held me there. What do you have and to hold, child? Love and love. The first time we kissed on that pier in San Diego, I have been amazed by the reality of our companionship. I have considered dying thoughts too. I have lived according to art too, Mr. Vendors. Words and words. I have also seen harm in our human grip. What do you have and to hold, child? Love can scrape you up from the sidewalk and cast you into the sky until you soar like an eagle. I have outraged at these things, the amassing, the collecting, the hoarding, the conceptions of our gods to kill over. 128 people died in Paris today. I have felt despair, ruined by undying hope. What do you have and to hold, child? I have all of this. We all have all of this and still kill each other. We were once children. This is the way we choose to spend our days. All of this. What have you seen? All of this. And we amass and we hoard and we hurt, killing each other. Love and love to have and to hold.
Pretty emotional, Joe Christiana. How you doing?
Good. It was very emotional.
Well, let's make sure, you're okay. You're all right?
Yeah, it was good.
You were talking about a lot there.
Yeah, this movie's talking about a lot. So I had no idea what to
Well,
say about
you
it.
go from, this, you know, I mean, this adoring love for your wife, and you kind of take a ride toward a recent, a recent happening. It's all it's
I think what the thing to put it into a nutshell here is that the film is about, it's a lot about, it's about the everyday things.
yeah.
It's about the things that we think about every day, the beauty of everyday things and the tragedy of everyday things. And uh, it's just taking a look at those things
Yeah,
and
and
still
really,
that's so.
that to me, it's like there's so much activity, there's so much going on. It's hard to really take everything in, and to really understand everything, obviously. And his yearning to become a man, is fascinating to me because he is taking in all this stuff anew, all at once, and he's trying to get it. And I think he does, right. I mean, he does start to get what a man is supposed to be, or what man is supposed to be, in a way. It's all very confusing, Joe, but it's I mean, listen, it's a very heavy piece of work. It's a beautiful piece of work at times. It was difficult for me the first hour, but I started to really,
Oh, this is your first time
yeah,
seeing it.
first time seeing it. And
Uh,
the second half, it kind of came together for me. It was a rough first hour, Joe. I got to be honest with you. It was really
okay.
difficult.
Sure.
Really, really difficult. And plus, it's like, I don't know if it's like the translation with the languages get lost a little bit, where I'm listening to this language and it all sounds beautiful, but I'm reading it and it's like kind of, I don't know, it just seems kind of choppy and not
Yeah.
fluent. Like the poetry's not fluent for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I think.
and I'm
Yeah.
not sure if
Okay.
that's just the words being kind of lost, like in.
Well, I think that there's this fascination and this awe and just this reverence for.
Wim Wenders' 1987 film Wings of Desire is a work of haunting poetry. Its main character is an angel who can watch and chronicle human life, but who cannot feel it. Though much of what he sees is sorrow and loneliness, one angel, who because he has fallen in love with a beautiful trapeze artist, longs to fall from the sky in order to live life. The film is an account of his transformation from angel to man. It is a love letter from Wenders to his hometown of Berlin and to life itself. If you haven't seen it, you should. I believe the greatest compliment that one can pay an artist's work is to say that it has inspired. It is with this in mind, and at the risk of presumption, that I humbly submit the following to serve as an introduction to our discussion of Wings of Desire. What do you have and to hold, child? I have this, the taste of breath, the solid state of a stone changing. I have felt sunken into aftermath. I have heard fearful echoes coming from caves whose walls were etched in blood when time began. I have tasted blood. I have seen the essence of black and white. I have seen the painted wounds and scars, shiny in daylight, and broken city glass, glinting, reflecting the sky and a boy's smile. I have beheld walls that held in and walls that held out, that breathed the authorities we live by. What do you have and to hold, child? I have seen this. A mother with my baby and
The banalities of life, just the platitudes of it, how simple it is, and how lonely it could be, and how even beautiful it can be in that loneliness, and in especially in a town like or a city like Berlin, that's living in the aftermath of such destruction
Mhm,
and
mhm.
the greatest violence that ever
Sure.
man ever committed, that this angel can look at it still with childlike eyes and still see beauty in it, where the people who are living in it have trouble, are so lonely and hurt
And numb, maybe numb to it.
and not see that hope in it, you know. And I think that as
But why
a
does he
proxy,
why does he see the hope? Why do you think he sees the hope?
well, I think he
Why does
sees it.
he why him? Why does he what is in him? What do you think is happening where he could see the hope?
Well, I think two things. I think that he sees it without having to live it, and I think that is very childlike. He sees it very, and because of that, because his perspective is very childlike. So, you know, you see things through the innocence of a child, and everything has potential. Everything is beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful in and of itself without qualification. With it, you know, despite the pain is beautiful. You know, the loneliness is beautiful, and it's
Is it woman?
and then love, and that's what ultimately pushes him over that line and brings him down, you know, to you know, sacrifices immortality to live it, you know. It's really poetic, you know. I could, of course, you know, that's what I saw out of it anyway.
Max, what did you think of Joe's intro?
Oh, Jesus. Thanks, Tom. Well, listen, I don't like sports, but I really